Welcome into another Fantasy Alarm Front Office Insights. Today we are taking a look at the New York Yankees. And what a great team to look at, Jim. Always a fun team to get to hang out and talk about. Aaron Boone, the manager, you're a very good friend of Aaron Boone's. I believe, didn't you drafted Aaron Boone, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I drafted Aaron Boone. I absolutely did, 100%. And also his brother Brett Boone, and his other brother Matt Boone, and their dad, Bob Boone, worked for me for several years, including managed for me with the Cincinnati Reds. So I do have a connection with the Boone family, yes.
Nice connection there. Brian Cashman, you speak to often, whether it's the GM's Corner or the Fantasy Alarm Show, either way. So we've got the insights in here. We know what we're looking at with this team. Jim, they didn't win the World Series last year, much to my chagrin. Did they have a decent enough offseason to say that we've improved?
Oh, there's no doubt improved. And not only that, but maintain the team, which I think is just as important as improving, right? And, of course, the headliners, Aaron Judge, 9-year, $360 million deal, matched what the Giants had offered, which was 9 years at $360. And really give credit to Hal Steinbrenner, the owner, who stepped up at the end and wanted to make sure that Judge would be a Yankee for life. And then named him captain of the Yankees as well. The last captain was Derek Jeter before that. So Judge will spend his entire career in a Yankee uniform. All rise. But the big addition, besides Judge, in maintaining is Anthony Rizzo on a 2-year, $40 million deal. And that's a big deal because with the banning of the shift, he's going to get a lot more hits. Batting average is going to go up 20, 30 points. He's a dead pull hitter. And when they were able to put 3 infielders on the right side of the infield, took away a lot of hits, just like it did with Mark Teixeira, where you can't do it anymore. That's going to help Rizzo. And then, of course, the big move of bringing someone from outside in was the signing of Carlos Rodon to a 6-year, $162 million deal. And Rodon was arguably the third best pitcher on the free agent market, but arguably the best left-handed starting pitcher on the market. And I can argue that he's the best starting left-handed pitcher in the American League. He and Framber Valdez is maybe 1A and 1B. So I look at the Yankees' moves this offseason. There weren't a lot of them. Let's be honest about it. But maintaining the team with Judge and Rizzo and then signing Rodon as a free agent, those are 3 huge moves for this team.
All right, well, let's move around the diamond here, and let's talk about it from a fantasy perspective. Who are we in on? Who are we out on? Jose Trevino behind the plate with Kyle Higashioka serving as his backup. Rizzo at first, Gleyber Torres at second, Josh Donaldson at third, and Oswald Peraza. Well, he's at short right now. He's a little banged up at the moment here. You got guys like Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, DJ LeMahieu, and even Anthony Volpe as backups right now. So the infield looks pretty tight, Jim.
Yeah. So look, when I look at the New York Yankees, I like their team in reality more than I like their team in fantasy. It's a really good reality team. Fantasy, don't love it as much. So who do I like on fantasy position player wise? I like 2 players, Aaron Judge and Anthony Volpe. Now, I don't know if Volpe's going to make the team or not, but when and if he does, he's Trey Turner. So you know what? At some point, he'll find his way there because at some point, the Yankees will realize he's a better player than Josh Donaldson. He's a better player than Gleyber Torres. He's a better player than Oswald Peraza, and he's got a chance to be a fantasy phenom. So Judge, we know he's proven. You can take him in the first round if you want. Take him with the first overall pick if you want. You can take him anywhere you want. He's Aaron Judge. But Volpe's a guy that I'll be taking a lot of places, and no one's taking him because everyone believes what Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone are selling, which is Donaldson's at third, Peraza's at short, Torres is at second, Hicks and Cabrera in left. That means Volpe will be parked in AAA. But it won't be long because great talent always beats out veteran-proven guys. Everybody likes the best player. So, in terms of position players, now, in terms of pitching, different story.
All right, wait. I got some questions here before you rush off to the mound. How long of a leash do we think there is for Josh Donaldson?
Well, he looked done to me last year, so my leash would already be up. But look, he's such a great person, and he's got a little edge to him. And I know how much Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman think of him. I think they'll give him at least a month But if he gets like 130 in the first month of the season or 140, I don't think they'll give much more than that.
Okay.
Maybe May 15th.
All right, that's perfect. That's actually very, very good to know. Giancarlo Stanton, no mention of him.
I forgot about Stanton. I apologize for that.
Yeah, he's going in like the 9th or 10th round of drafts right now. So
yeah, actually, I thank you for putting that up there. I got to add him to the rundown right now. He was not listed. I was looking at all the names there. I like Stanton a lot better than where he's being drafted. Only question with him is health, but he'll hit 40 home runs this year. I believe that. I think he'll have a big year. He's also going to get to play in the field a little bit more than he has the last couple of years. He's feeling really good, and they're really happy about him. And I do like Stanton a lot better than where he's going. So I'm going to rephrase it as Judge, Stanton, and Volpe are the 3 position players of the Yankees that I'll be drafting.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I don't mind Anthony Rizzo as my corner infielder. He's not a target of mine as my primary first baseman, but when I'm looking for a corner infielder, if Anthony Rizzo's there, I'm not averse to using that. And I do like using the late round picks on Volpe just to see what happens. So I'm in there with you as far as that goes. All right, the mound, much more fantasy friendly, at least from the from the looks of it here. Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Luis Severino, Nestor Cortez, and then you're sitting there in the back end with like Domingo Germán and Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, I'll take all the top 4 starters: Cole, Rodon, Severino, and Cortez. I like them all in fantasy. Cole and Rodon are probably being drafted where they belong, although I like Rodon probably around better than ADP. And I like Severino significantly better than where the ADP has Severino. I think he's got great upside. I think he's a top of the rotation guy. I think Cortez will have a little bit of regression, so I probably won't have as many shares of him as everyone else will. But I'll have my share of Cole, Rodon, and Severino for sure.
When you're going through that closer mix, and there's always a closer run, and we don't want to get caught. We're not going to take an Edwin Diaz or an Emmanuel Clase. If we're not going to do that, we do at least have to make sure that we get somebody who's got some job security. What do we think about Clay Holmes? As the closer, the team also has Lou Trevino, Jonathan Loaizaga, who are also who's back there also. But can Clay Holmes hold this job most of the year?
I mean, look, we all saw what he did in the first half, right? He was at Dodger Stadium in the All-Star game for a reason, and he had a great first half. I mean, he was 4-1 with a 1.31 ERA, and had 16 of his 20 saves in the first half of the season. And he had pitched 41 innings, only giving up 27 hits in the first half. Second half of the season, different story, right? 4.80 ERA, only had 4 saves, and just wasn't right. So which one are we going to get? I think the Yankees are hoping they get the first half home. He's only 25 years old. As long as he's healthy, they're hoping he can be that guy. So I don't like to draft closers early. So I'll end up with guys like Holmes closing, because I'll take that chance that he can be the same guy that we saw in the first half. I won't let the second half cloud my mind with him. I'm more about value when it comes to closers. So I tend to take the third tier closer over the first 2 tiers because I don't like using those early picks for them, and I feel like you're going to stream saves anyway at some point. But Holmes is a guy that I'll get because his ADP says, that's about where Jim's going to take a closer.
Yeah, makes sense. I did that in the 12-team mock that we talked about earlier in the Fantasy Alarm Show. Clay Holmes and David Bednar, he kind of fits that bill too. All right, so we know that Peraza is slated to be the shortstop. We know Anthony Volpe could start the team with the big club, maybe starts down in AAA. We're going to have to wait and see on that. What about other prospects potentially on the rise for the Yankees?
Well, Jason Dominguez, they call him the Martian. It's the guy you need to know, left-hand hitter, a young kid, and he's got ridiculous power. Go foul pole to foul pole with it. Loves to go the other way and keeps getting better. He's done such a good job of really working on his body, losing weight, adding strength and flexibility, and he is making a name for himself in Tampa right now. He's having a really good spring, and he's putting notice. I'm coming. He's not coming this year, but he's coming. Dynasty League, I would get him. The other guy that they're all raving about is the catcher, Austin Wells, former top pick. They really like him. They think he'll be their long-term answer at catcher. Again, like Dominguez, more of a dynasty thing. And, of course, Anthony Volpe is their best prospect. I've said before, he's going to put up Trey Turner kind of fantasy numbers whenever he's ready, and I think he's going to be ready this year at some point. I can't tell you it's opening day, but if not, is it May 15th? Probably. I mean, I don't think it's going to be far off. Defensively, he's not as good as everyone thinks, so that doesn't hurt in fantasy. Does he end up at second or third for the Yankees? Probably, because I think Peraza is going to be the shortstop there for the Yankees. So I think he's going to have to change positions. With that, a lot of times growing pains, as we all know. Some learning curve, which sometimes in reality baseball, the GMs and the managers will make you wait a little bit longer while you work on the defense. But fantasy-wise, once he gets there, I know what you used to say, Howard. Yum, 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 yum.
Let's talk about the Yankees as far as, let's talk about Brian Cashman here. And obviously ownership ties into it as well. What's the vibe for you with the Yankees? Will they look to, improve as they near the playoffs? Aaron Hicks, I know you're not a big fan of Harrison Bader. Josh Donaldson can be replaced by Volpe. What about, possibly using any of the youngsters as trade chips?
Well, I mean, first of all, I love Bader defensively in reality, just not fantasy. I love him. He's a plus defender in center, plays the game hard. Yankee fans just, of course, they're going to love him because of the way he plays the game. So I really do like him in reality. He doesn't hit enough for me in fantasy. The one thing I can promise you, if you have a cement mixer, go ahead and mix the cement and write this in cement. Brian Cashman will trade for a left fielder or sign one in free agency between now and the trade deadline. And you don't have to put it in a Sharpie. You can just take the cement and put it in cement. I like Oswaldo Cabrera, but I like him more as a 10th player, not an everyday left fielder. I never thought Aaron Hicks was going to hit enough, especially for the Yankees. And as much as I like the idea of Stanton and right and Judge and left, come on. You got to leave Judge and right, and Stanton's probably better off at DH at this point most of the time to keep him healthy. So at some point, Brian Cashman will go outside the organization to get a left fielder. But when he does, I can promise you who will not be in the trade. It will not be Volpe, will not be Dominguez, will not be Peraza, and will not be Wells.
All right, good to know. I like keeping that core group of youngsters together. Jim, as we wrap up our coverage here of the New York Yankees, one fantasy sleeper, one fantasy bust, please.
Well, I'm going to go with the sleeper Volpe because where he's going in drafts, I mean, people are just acknowledging the truth, which he won't be there opening day, but with the stolen bases he's capable of providing and his his ability to hit and score runs, I mean, and hit home runs, he's got power. Like, he's a sleeper. He has to be a sleeper, so I got to put him there. Yeah, for sure. And a bust, I mean, look, I don't care. You pick between Donaldson or Hicks. Or you know what? I'll go both. They're both busts.
All right. Okay, all right. You don't have to be mean. It's all right. But there you go, folks. The New York Yankees in a nutshell right there for fantasy purposes. Big thanks for tuning in to Front Office Insights here at Fantasy Alarm.